Good morning. Oh, that's good. Welcome to Newburyport on Veterans Day. We're pretty close to the 11th hour of the 11th month. 11th day. And that was formerly known, as most of you know, as Armistice Day. And some of you may have been alive in 1954 when that got changed to Veterans Day. My name is Kevin Hott. I am the Veteran Service Officer for the City of Newburyport. I've been doing this 18 years. This is my 36th Memorial of Veterans Day, and each one's different. And this one is definitely different because we made the decision yesterday about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and my apologies to anybody who got all the last minute stuff this morning. We tried to notify as many people as we could. We were on for just doing it outside here, and then we got a wind forecast of 25 to 35-mile-an-hour winds, and that would have made it impossible to be outside. And even now, we didn't get that. I think it would have been kind of uncomfortable outside, so I'm happy all of you were able to join us here. I'd like to introduce Captain John Eric Burkholt from the Salvation Army, who will deliver today's invocation. Please rise.
Almighty God, on this Veterans Day, we promise to honor the men and women who have defended the great promise of this nation. We offer our deepest gratitude for the willingness to bear the burden of service, standing against those who extinguish your flame of freedom. We ask you to instill in us the dedication and courage to uphold values our veterans fought to protect, and help us never take our peace for granted. We ask for divine blessing upon every veteran living and deceased, that their sacrifice may never be forgotten. May the spirit of their patriotism and devotion inspire us all to be worthy of liberty and security.
Captain John Eric Burkholt from the Salvation Army. I am now going to ask the Newburyport High School marching band. Are you ready? Please rise again for the national anthem. Mostly some scouts could join me up here. They are going to lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wondering how well I'm being heard back there. I've got that mic really close. That means everybody's going to have to be that close. And I don't think that's going to happen. It's down there. Can you hear me? No. Mike Bartlett, where are you?
That's good, right there, Kevin.
Yeah, but no one's going to be this close. You will. So again, thank you all for coming out. I would like to introduce now the mayor of Newburyport, Mayor Sean Reardon.
All right, good morning, everyone. So my voice is still a little rough from last week. It's an honor to be here with you all as we come together as a community to recognize and thank the men and women who have worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces. On behalf of the City of Newburyport, I want to extend our deepest gratitude to all the veterans here today, and to every veteran in our city, for your service, your sacrifice, and your unwavering commitment to our country. Today is about more than just remembrance. It's about reflection, gratitude, and connection. Understanding that freedoms we enjoy each and every day are the direct result of the courage and sacrifice of those who have served. I also want to take a moment to recognize the veterans who continue to serve our community right here at home. In our city government, on our police force, and in our fire department, these men and women embody the very best of public service, continuing their lifelong commitment to duty, honor, and community. We thank you for your dedication, both in uniform and here in Newburyport. For those of you veterans who are here, I know a lot of you are standing, can you just step forward and be recognized? Can we give them a round of applause, please? Thank you. This day always feels especially meaningful to me because I've been so fortunate to know and grow up alongside some incredible veterans. I'd like to share two who have made a personal connection to me and to this city. The first is Captain Jeff Volato, United States Coast Guard. I actually saw Jeff this past weekend in Tampa. We both took our sons to the Patriots game. He was a proud native of Newburyport and a member of my own Newburyport High School class of 1993. Jeff enlisted in the Coast Guard in 1998, earned his commission through Officer Candidate School, and went on to an extraordinary career at sea and ashore. Over more than 13 years of sea duty, Jeff has commanded multiple Coast Guard cutters and earned numerous accommodations, including 5 Meritorious Service Medals. Today, Captain Volato serves as commander of the Coast Guard's Community Service Command, where he oversees the entire Coast Guard exchange system, 64 schools worldwide, and leads programs that enhance the morale and well-being of thousands of service members and their families. Jeff's leadership, integrity, and devotion to service reflect everything we value here in Newburyport, and we could not be prouder to call him one of our own. The second is my brother-in-law, Brigadier General Luke Shack Teal of the United States Air Force. A 1997 graduate of Newport High School, Luke currently serves as the Deputy Commander of the Canadian North American Aerospace Defense Region, otherwise known as NORAD, based in Winnipeg, Manitoba, a vital post that helps us ensure the safety and defense of the skies over North America. General Teal's career is equally remarkable. A U.S. Air Force Academy graduate, top of his class, he went on to earn degrees from Harvard, the Marine Corps University, and the National Defense University. He's a command pilot with over 3,000 hours in the F-15E, including more than 650 in combat. Flying missions over Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, and the Horn of Africa. He's commanded at every level, squadron, wing, and now region, and has served in the Pentagon advising both the Secretary of the Air Force and the Secretary of Defense. Luke represents the very best of Newburyport. Smart, steady, humble, and service-oriented. He reminds us that the path from our small city can lead to extraordinary places when guided by courage, discipline, and a deep sense of duty. Both Captain Filato and Brigadier General Teal, like so many others who have worn the uniform, remind us that service takes many forms. It's the willingness to step forward, to lead, and to protect others. And whether that service takes place halfway around the world or right here at home, it deserves our respect, our gratitude, and our continued support. To all our veterans, past and present, thank you for your courage, your sacrifice, and your example. Newburyport honors you today and every day. God bless our veterans, God bless the city of Newburyport, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you. So we do have some special guests here today that I'd like to recognize real quick. First, we have many city councilors here, and I'm going to hopefully make sure I get everybody. We also have some people from the state and federal level here today. First, our Representative Don Shand. Thank you, Don, for being here. Bruce Chard and Bruce Bacon. We on tar time today, or you might see him in like 5 minutes. I actually want to recognize Rick Jacobs from Congressman Moulton's office is here today. For city councilors, I want to recognize Ward 3 City Councilor Heath Granis, at-large City Councilor Heather Sheehan, at-large City Councilor Ed Cameron, at-large City Councilor Mark White, Ward 4 City Councilor, soon to be Ward, at-large City Councilor Ben Harmon, at-large Councilor Rose Khan, Ward 1 City Councilor Sharif Steed, Ward 2 City Councilor Jenny Donahue. That's a lot. Oh, sorry, I think I got everybody. I got everybody. All right. Then I'd also like to recognize City Councilors-elect. Ward 6 Councilor-elect Mary Delide, Ward 4 City Councilor-elect Beth Trock, Ward 3 City Councilor-elect Brian Callahan, Ward 2 City Councilor-elect Stephanie Nikitich, and at-large Councilor-elect Sarah Hall. Did I get everybody? Let's give them a round of applause. I'd now like to call up Representative Don Shand, who's going to offer a few words.
Thank you so much, Kevin Hunt. Mayor Reardon, congratulations to all the newly elected municipal leaders and to those who have served with honor. I look forward to working with all of you, and I thank you for your work. So, Massachusetts is the cradle of American patriotism, in case you didn't know that. It is the home to the First National Guard. It is the birthplace of the American Revolution. It is the first to declare that local veterans must be cared for. It is the first to establish local veteran service officers, as are Kevin Hunt, who holds that role with distinction. And we do so much more in this state. This is our legacy. And I am tremendously proud of Massachusetts for leading the nation in veteran services. Here we honor our heritage and commit to building upon it. We pledge to provide the best veteran services in the country. Last week, we took another step to ensuring every veteran receives the respect they deserve. The House passed a bill to change how our laws reference anyone with a disability, including veterans, who will now be known as American Veterans with Disability. This change prioritizes, first and foremost, their patriotism and their service. So on this Veterans Day, I am reminded, as I look around, that service is always a family endeavor. So I thank our veterans for their service and their families for their sacrifices. Your nation is grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, you, Representative Sheehan. Could I have the bell ringers come up, please, and take their places? Just another quick thank you. I want to thank, obviously, Kevin Hunt for all the work he does, not only for our veterans, but for the city. Sorry, Bill. Kevin Hunt, I want to thank our TPS for switching gears today and getting this place ready to go. City Hall for this ceremony this morning. Again, just a big thank you to Police and Fire for being here. I also want to shout out the Newburyport High School football team. You'll see them up at the balcony. They've got a big game coming up in a couple weeks against Sainsbury. I want to thank their coaches. They always make it a point to have them here each and every year. They really understand the value of this ceremony and how important it is to value our veterans here in our community. So thank you again, Newburyport High School football team, and also the band for being here as well. It is a tradition on Memorial Day and Veterans Day to read the names of the veterans who have departed in the last 6 months. When I read the veteran's name and branch of service, a bronze bell signifying the veteran's branch of service will be struck in honor of that veteran. Today's bell ringers are Joe Vecchione, Air Force, United States Air Force veteran and Vietnam veteran. Navy, Kevin Hunt, Vietnam veteran. Marine Corps, Michael Kanaba, United States Marine Corps veteran. Army, Micah Carter, United States Army veteran. And Army National Guard, Sergeant Steve Cohen, Massachusetts Army National Guard. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Gary Allen Welch, United States Army. After graduating from Newburyport High School in 1969, Gary joined the Army and served until 1977. He then earned a degree from Essex Agricultural and Technical School. Around that time, he married Ann Fletcher, with whom he enjoyed 51 years of marriage. The majority of his life, he worked for either Newburyport or Amesbury Public Works as a wastewater mechanic. James Hayes, Jr., United States Navy. Jim was born in Newburyport in 1930, 8 months after his father died. His mother died when he was 16, and he was raised by the Greek community here in Newburyport. He served for 30 years with the Navy, which took him into the Korean War for 2 years, and did 2 tours in the Vietnam War. He worked in the naval medical field and retired as a chief petty officer. Isaac Raymond Webster, Jr., United States Marine Corps. Ray was raised in Newburyport and served in the Marines from 1951 to 1954 during the Korean conflict. He returned home to join the family business at Riverside Dairy and became well known for making the beloved Webster's ice cream at the family stand, a favorite treat that became a tradition for many here in Newburyport. At the age of 82, he checked off an item off his bucket list by skydiving, a testament to his adventurous spirit. Jeremiah J. Dugan, Jr., United States Navy. After graduating from Newburyport High, Jeremiah served in the Navy during the Korean War. Upon returning to town, he was employed as a truck driver by Graff Brothers before becoming a Newburyport firefighter, a job he loved until his retirement. Jer was a very talented mechanic and was instrumental in the maintenance and upkeep of Newburyport's antique engine number 3. He loved country music and would dance and sing country tunes in his spare time. David Paul Conti, United States Army. Dave graduated from Newburyport High School in 1964 and then served 2 tours in Vietnam with the Army as a member of the 1st Air Cavalry. He was a talented brick mason and was part of the team who constructed the Seabrook nuclear power plant from start to finish. He was a master of car restoration and home construction, and the products of his craftsmanship are still evident in the area. Raymond Rusty Brown, Massachusetts Army National Guard. Rusty grew up on Plum Island and joined the National Guard right after high school. He was an avid car enthusiast, spending hours poring over car magazines, building model cars, and later collecting them. He was a beloved cheerleader at his grandson's hockey games, and on occasion instructing the referees from the stands on the correct interpretation of the rules. Gerard J. Coogan, United States Navy. Gerard served with the Navy from October 1966 until his discharge in 1969 with the rank of CT-2. After military service, he had a lifelong career as a financial auditor at the DCAA, a contracting agency of the federal government. He was a graduate of Salem State College, earning a bachelor's degree. Lieutenant Colonel John A. T., United States Army. After graduating from Newburyport High in 1958, Jack began a long career with the Army. He served as a Corps of Engineers officer for over 20 years, commanded a company during the Vietnam War. During his extensive military career, he and his wife Carolyn enjoyed 64 years of love that spanned multiple world continents in 25 different homes. Richard Woodbury Clancy, United States Coast Guard Reserve. Richard was an educator and a man of the land. He taught at Newburyport High School for 24 years, and later would spend a number of years in New Hampshire at Newmarket High School. He built a home on the site of an old farm, and he and his family lived the rural small-town country life, tending vegetable gardens and raising livestock. He was also my sophomore year Spanish teacher. Roger D.J. Pollard, United States Marine Corps. After graduation from Newburyport High School, Roger joined the Marine Corps, which was followed by a career as a plumber working for Simmons Plumbing. An avid sports fan, Roger was a major fan of the Patriots, the Red Sox, and the Celtics. And he was a dog lover, holding a special place in his heart for his beloved pit bulls. Paul A. McLeod Jr., United States Air Force. After graduating from Newburyport High School, Paul joined the Air Force and was stationed in Alexandria, Louisiana. He returned to Newburyport to run the family business, Woodbury McLeod Jewelers. Once the business closed, Paul spent the rest of his life in sales, specifically prescription safety eyewear. He deeply enjoyed his family and enjoyed being outside meticulously tending to his lawn. Albert G. D.C. II, United States Navy. After graduating Newburyport High School, Albert joined the Navy and served as an electrician's mate from 1964 to 1970. He built a lifelong career with NYMEX and retired as a manager with that organization. It was said that Al met the world with quiet steadiness, kindness, charity, and a deep love of the natural world. My apologies to everyone we may have missed. Thank you.
If we were outside, we would be cold, for sure. So I'm so happy we were able to get here. But if you kind of picture outside, there's a flagpole out there. And that flagpole was donated to the city by the Gated Morrow Foundation. Gated Morrow was the mayor of Newburyport in 1932 during the Depression. He loaned the city the princely sum of $300 and something thousand to build a high school that we have here now. And his foundation has loaned millions of dollars, I would imagine, over the course of many years to help this city in innumerable ways. There are 3 flags on that flagpole. The American flag at the top, which is half-mast because of Vice President Cheney. The second flag down is the POW MIA flag, representing 96,000 men and women who are still missing. And the third flag is a flag that has 2 stars on it, and that's symbolic of 2 heroes from Newburyport who have passed away in recent history. One is Lieutenant Derek Hines, United States Army. The second one is Sergeant Jordan Shea, United States Army. Both of whom gave their lives over there in the Afghanistan Iraq area. The nice thing about that flag is the stars, the points go up, and they remind us that those 2 individuals are residing up in heaven. Also, there's an area out there where you can buy a brick. If any of you want to remember either a veteran who has passed or memorialize a veteran who is living, you can buy a brick for $100. The applications are right here in the first floor of City Hall or over at my office at the Senior Center. And that brick gets placed right before Veterans Day or right before Memorial Day and it will memorialize any veteran that you choose. They have to be a discharged, honorable discharged veteran. I always like to say a few quick thank yous. Definitely a thank you to that band. We're going to hear more from them, but I really spend an awful lot of time rehearsing and doing all sorts of wonderful things. I see that Senator Bruce Torres has joined us here. And, this gentleman, Bruce Torres, he and I bump into each other occasionally on microphones. We were together yesterday. I'm going to cut off right here and just give the microphone over to Senator Bruce Torres.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I guess my timing was pretty good. I managed to roll in from Ipswich, and I'm glad to be here with all of you. And it's always an honor to be here with all of you, as this city recognizes its obligation to celebrate and honor and respect those who have served our nation and those who continue to serve our nation. It's one of our foremost responsibilities as people of this great nation, people who are united by a set of principles that involve freedom and justice and liberty and equality. And it's our obligation to remember that those things, while they are noble and they are things that we should all aspire to, come at a very high price. They come at a price of those who put on the uniform of our country. They swear an allegiance to those principles, and they go forth and put themselves in harm's way. They interrupt their lives. They're separated from their families. They witness things that most humans do not have to deal with in their entire lives. But first and foremost, they say that I am willing to stand up for my nation. I am willing to stand up for my neighbors. I am willing to stand up for those ideals that not only should unite all of us as Americans, but that represent our dream for every person on the face of this earth. And for that sacrifice and that hardship, we owe them the best that we can give at every opportunity. Always taking a moment to understand their stories, what they've been through, what they've hoped for. Always being there to support their families and to recognize what separation means. Always there to find a way, whether with a large gesture or a smaller gesture, to be able to say that we will leave no stone unturned in expressing our appreciation and our support. Just last week, the Massachusetts Senate adopted legislation that will ensure that when a military family comes to Massachusetts, their children will not have an interruption in their educational program. Their children will not have an interruption in the special services they need. It's one more way that we can say that we understand what you did to us, and we will do our best to give back to you. And it's in the very best tradition of a state that leads this nation in its support for veterans. And that's not only because of legislators, that's because of the culture that we have, the beliefs that we share, and the strength of the fabric of this Commonwealth. So today, we think once again about the virtue of that strength. We think about the importance of being unified regardless of our perspective, our opinion, our geography, or anything else. We think about the importance of being unified around the singular principle of supporting those who give us one of the greatest gifts that humans can give to each other: freedom and the opportunity to pursue the very best in our lives because they give the very best in their service. May God bless them. May we move forward in our lives to live in such a way that honors the principles that they have sacrificed for us and to be worthy of them. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Viper's Call. I always like to thank the Newburyport Color Guard who come out here and they take the time not only on Veterans Day, Memorial Day, to show us the colors, to give us that opportunity, but I'd like to also thank them and the fire department for what they do. Not many of us want to take on the role of going into a school building when there's an active shooting, or I would not want to run into a building that's on fire and everybody's coming out and I'm going in. I'd like a round of applause for the fire department. There's a few veterans, a couple who in the audience. One quick one, an old friend of mine, he doesn't know I'm going to introduce him, he's going to get mad at me for it, but that's Robert Bull Stanwood. He's just Army Delta Ranger. The thing that makes Newburyport special, makes it unique, is the architecture here. The fact that when you are in the city, you are in a city that is almost unlike anything else along the Merrimack River, the North Shore. You have these beautiful buildings. These buildings go all the way back to the 19th century when they were created. Many of you may not know, there was a time, about 50 years ago or more, that there were people in the city acting what they thought was a wise way, wanted to tear all those buildings down. And they were going to replace them with a two-story strip mall, which was popular at the time. You can imagine what this city would have looked like had all of these brick buildings been torn down. That was the intention. And replaced with two-story, prefabricated in some cases, buildings. One of the men who stood in the way of those buildings being torn down is with us today. He's a U.S. Army veteran. His name is Jack Bradshaw. Jack, thank you very much. Probably about 9 of you that really were instrumental in it. You're the only one that's left. Also wanted just a quick thank you to Mike Bartlett, the guy who from 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon to this morning got this place ready so it looks like it does. So thank you everyone. We have a special musical group with us today. You saw them up here for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Samantha, if you could please bring your scouts forward. These beautiful voices are going to gather up here as you did for the pledge. Turn around and face the audience. They are going to sing America the Beautiful.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you very much. Scouting is such an important tradition in this country. I'm so glad to see this being carried on, and being carried on by people who seem to know what they're doing. I'd like to reintroduce the band, if we could. The Armed Forces Melody. Now, the Armed Forces Melody is a series of musical selections. Each musical selection represents a branch of the armed forces. So as the band goes through, if you are a veteran and you are a member of that branch of armed services, please stand up and acknowledge.
Stand by. Stand by. Stand on up. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1.
Now, we are going to ask you to use your imagination and imagine that we have just concluded the ceremony here at City Hall, and you're about to, over the course of the next 2 or 3 seconds, zip right through the city of Newburyport, around Market Square, up State Street, through Pop Street, down to the Veterans Cemetery, way here down to the Veterans Cemetery. Oh, that was fast. Roger Bannister would be looking in the wall. So we're now down at the cemetery, and this is an area that's special in Newburyport. We obviously have the 205, I believe, veterans that are buried down there, a special area dedicated to them. The first person buried there was a fellow by the name of Joe Rochette. Very few of you will remember Joe. I did not know him personally. He was one of the first Yankee homecoming chairmen. He was also one of the first town criers, which was a role incorporated during Yankee homecoming, but I don't think they do it that much anymore. A fellow ran through the town with a bell. Joe had a saying. He said, nobody will ever remember me. No, Joe, we do remember you. Joe Rochette, the first person buried there. I'd like to ask again if Captain John Eric Burkholt of the Salvation Army could come up. What we are going to do is this is what would happen at the cemetery. And I realize now I'm a little out of order, so if you could wait 1 second, I'm going to ask the mayor to come up. Here's you're really going to have to use your imagination. The mayor has just walked from the back of the cemetery to the front. And we are at the moment of silence. Veterans Day is for the guys that are alive, so it's not as robust as it would be if we were here for Memorial Day. And now, we could have the benediction. I apologize. We will have the benediction. The band will play Amazing Grace. That will be followed by taps, and that will be the conclusion of today's ceremony. So I will say thank you all for coming.
On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to service call. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all that deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same.
I suppose we may stand if you want, and we will have a major break.
Right. Okay, oh.
Thank you and enjoy your day.